is Candace, was she the right messenger for this message? And I say that, and we'll have Royce on later in the show, because when I started thinking about who would be the right messenger for this message, I thought of Royce White. I thought, and again, if he should have played, he's from Minneapolis, he participated in the George Floyd protest or whatever. Anyway, was Candace the right messenger for this message?
I think it depends on the audience, right? So I think there are a lot of people that she absolutely can reach and does reach, but then there are people that she will never reach. You know, that was the part I didn't like about her putting the Derek Chauvin stuff up front, because I just felt like for those who already have their opinion of her, that's going to come across negatively. And I felt like they wouldn't get to some of the good stuff that I felt like they needed to get to. And so, like, for me, I wanted to wake up today and that would be all over social media, like people saying, girl, did you hear so-and-so? And we didn't have that. And I think maybe if it had been organized a little differently, we could have gotten some of that. But it's just so many people that are already against Candace that I think their ears are already closed. I was looking at that too, wishing that Royce was there because he is in Minneapolis. And so I just felt like, gosh, this would have been even better if we would have had somebody like Royce or people that can connect. You know, I got in trouble last year at CPAC because I said that, you know, we needed all types of conservative voices. I used the analogy of Will Smith and Carlton, and I was just saying that if they were both conservatives, there are people that Carlton can reach, and then there are people that Will can reach. And some people didn't like that analogy, but I think if we're all on the same team, which we are, we're trying to get conservative values to the Black community. I think we just have to all band together, put our differences aside, and use everybody to get to the message to who we need to get the message to. But I would have loved to see Royce in there.
And I'll say this while I'm questioning the messenger and needs help, is because what also is missing that was really prevalent in the Matt Walsh documentary, somebody that could have confronted an Al Sharpton, a Ben Crump, maybe got them to consent to an interview, or just even a man on the street chasing them down, asking them questions about, hey, all this money went to transgenders, Al, what are you gonna? If there's that element, it takes the move. If these people that are supporters, Joy Reid or whoever supporters of this whole BLM stuff, are confronted on camera and made to respond, documentary goes to another level. Mm-hmm. She was pregnant at the time she's taping a lot of this, and there's a lot of baggage that goes along with her. What do you think about me saying maybe she's not the right messenger?
Well, I think this kind of goes to the fact that you mentioned Candace is at the forefront of this documentary the entire time. At the beginning, I think it's pretty clear that for Candace, this was personal. She's essentially doing this to point out how she was vindicated about what she initially said about not supporting George Floyd. And she got a lot of flack at that time, was attacked by both conservatives and liberals. So I think that's why she's at the forefront. It's because she's trying to drive home the message. I was right. I was vindicated. I didn't deserve the hate that I got. Is that the same as doing an expose that's good for everybody and meant to change minds? Not necessarily, right? These are two pretty different goals. And not that one is better than the other, but I think it was more marketed as the former rather than
I told you so.
Yeah, exactly.
Is what the documentary was.
And if, speaking of, she could have maybe interviewed more, or at least tried to interview more of the people who were instrumental in Black Lives Matter. Going off of what Shemeka was saying, she also could have interviewed people, like just everyday Black people whose lives were, if not helped, and also made worse by Black Lives Matter. There was that viral, unfortunate father who his house or property was burned down because of the BLM riots. I mean, we had David Dorn, his wife, he was killed. I think his murderer just got sentenced. But why not talk about those stories more rather than, like you're saying, this is an imaging branding problem. You're talking to a wealthy store owner from LA. You're talking to an Indian tech CEO about an email he sent that didn't go right? So there is maybe a difference of audience there depending on what kind of stories you're going to focus on.
So I think she was the right person for that message because it wasn't I Told You So documentary. But if we want to change more minds, and I've said this multiple times, we need more black men at the forefront. Because I feel like, you know, women are getting pushed more than anything else to keep up with society, which is cool, nothing wrong with it. I love Lauren, I love Shemeka, you know. You know, but we need more black men in the forefront doing this, because even when you look back at Candace Owens' thing she did with Revolt, it was 2 conservative women, and Candace was the only one with any spark to her, versus a bunch of men. You know what I'm saying? So what you need there is you need more, even if it was just a couple men with Candace Owens. You know what I'm saying? We need to have more men there, because, you know, like I'm not about to, a woman, I'm gonna keep it a band. A woman not gonna change my mind.
Well, and we got to step up and be willing. I'm not going to knock Candace's hustle, but are we stepping up to take those roles?
Nope. That's why people like Candace, Marjorie Taylor Greene, a lot of them are necessary, because women are more emotional, but it makes them also more passionate. So they're willing to do the dirty work that men, you know, a lot of times
I will
are not
nag
willing to do.
society into agreeing with me. You're right.